History, Unit 3, Rural Life and Society. Introduction. Indian economy was an agrarian economy. Agrarian is nothing but agricultural system. Agriculture industries like textiles, sugar, oil, etc. were depend on it. The British government in India did not adopt a pro-Indian agriculture and land revenue policy. British government introduced land revenue in India. The economic exploitation of the peasants led to the revolt in feature. The land revenue policy under the British. The land revenue system was introduced by the British in different parts of India. It is collected as a percentage of the share of total crop paid by the farmer. Types of land revenue policy. Already I said this policy is introduced by British. Types of land revenue is the permanent settlement, Raidwari settlement, Mahalwari settlement. Permanent settlement is introduced by Lord Cornwallis, Raidwari settlement by Thomas Munro, Mahalwari settlement by Lord William Bentinck. Okay, permanent settlement. Lord Cornwallis, the Viceroy of British India, introduced a new revenue system in the states of Bengal, Bihar, and Varanasi. Features of the permanent settlement. The zamindars were recognized as the owners of land as long as they paid the revenue to the East India Company regularly. The zamindars acted as the agent of the government for the collections of revenue from the cultivators. The amount of revenue that the zamindars had to pay to the company was firmly fixed and would not be raised under any circumstances. They gave 10/11 of the revenue collected by them from the cultivator to the government. The zamindars would grant patta means written agreements, to the ryots. Ryots means people. The ryots became tenants since they were considered the tillers of the soil. All judicial powers were taken away from the zamindars. Next one we will see about the merits of the permanent settlement. Under this system, many of the wastelands and forests became cultivable lands. Zamindars became the owner of the land. They were made free from the responsibility of providing justice. They remained faithful to the British government. This system secured a fixed and stable income for the British government. Demerits, that is the disadvantages. The British government had no direct contact with the cultivators. The rights of the cultivators were ignored and they were left at the mercy of the zamindars. The peasants were almost treated as serfs. Serfs means slaves. This system was made the zamindars lethargic and luxurious. Many conflicts between the zamindars and the peasants arose in rural Bengal. Next one is Raidwari system. Thomas Munro introduced this system in 1820. By Raidwari system, the rights of ownership was handed over to the peasants. British government collected taxes directly from the peasants. Initially, one half of the estimate use was fixed as rent. This assessment was reduced to 1/3 of the produce by Thomas Munro. The revenue was based on the basis of the soil and the nature of the crop. Rent would be periodically revised generally after 20 to 30 years. The position of the cultivators became more secure. In this system, the settlement was made between the government and the ryots. Ryots means people. So government and the people. In fact, the government later claimed that the land revenue was a rent and not a tax. Okay, features of the Raytwari system. Revenue settlement was done directly with the ryots. Measurement of the field and an estimate of produce was calculated. Government fixed the demand at 45% to 55% of the produce. Next one is effect of the Raytwari system. In most areas, the land revenue fixed was excessive. The ryots were hardly left with bare maintenance even in the best of seasons. Under this system, government exploited the farmers instead of zamindars. Mahalwari system. Mahalwari system, a brainchild of Holt Mackay, was modified version of the zamindari settlement introduced in the Ganga Valley, the northwest province, parts of the central India and Punjab in 1822. Lord William Bentinck was to suggest radical changes in the Mahalwari system. By the guidance of Robert Martins Bird in 1833. Assessment of revenue was to be made on the basis of the produce of a mahal or village. All the proprietors of a mahal were severally and jointly responsible for the payment of revenue. This system was first adopted in Agra and Awadh and later extended to other parts of the United Provinces. The burden of all this heavy taxation finally fell on the cultivators. Features of the Mahalwari system. The Lamborder means a headman or a in-charger. So the in-charger acted as intermediators between the government and the villages. It was a village-wise assessment. One person could hold a number of villages. The village community was the owner of the village common land. The village land belonged to the village community. Effects of the Mahalwari settlement. The Lamborder means already I said in charges. So he enjoyed privileges which was misused for their self-interest. This system brought no benefit to the cultivators. It was a modified version of the zamindari system and benefited the upper class in villages. Impact of the British land revenue system on the cultivators. A common feature of all the settlements was assessment and the maximize income from land. It resulted in increasing land sales and dispossessions. The peasants were overburdened with taxation. Due to the tax burden and famines in general, the people suffered in poverty and burdened with debts. They had to seek the moneylenders who became rich and acquired lands from the peasants. The zamindars, moneylenders and lawyers exploited the poor peasants. The stability and continuity of the Indian villages was shaken. Cottage industries disappeared on account of the import of British goods and the peasants had nothing to supplement their income. The British policy proved advantageous only to the government of a privileged section of the society at the cost of the cultivators who were the right of their lands. Above these made peasants revolts. The British rule in India brought about many changes in the agrarian system. Agrarian system means already I said agricultural system in the country. The old agrarian system collapsed and under the new system, the ownership of land conferred on the zamindars. The life of the peasants was extremely miserable. The various peasant movements and uprisings during the 19th and 20th centuries were in the nature of a protest against of the existing conditions under which their exploitation knew no limits. The Santhal Rebellion. The first revolt which can be regarded as the peasants' revolt was the Santhal Rebellion in 1855 to 56. The land near the hills of Rajmahal in Bihar was cultivated by the Sandals. The landlords and moneylenders from the cities took advantage of their ignorance and began grabbing their lands. Under two Santal brothers, Sidhu and Kanhu, to free their country of the foreign oppressors and set up a government of their own. The rebellion assumed a formidable shape within a month. The houses of the European planters, British officers, railway engineers, jamindars, and moneylenders were attacked. The rebellion continued till February 1856, when the rebel leaders were captured and the movement was put down with a heavy hand. The government declared the Barganas inhabited by them as Santal Barganas so that their lands and identity could be safeguarded from external affairs. Next one is Indigo Revolt, 1859. The Indigo Rebellion took place in Bengal. The European indigo planters compelled the tenant farmers to grow indigo at terms highly disadvantageous to the farmers. The tenant farmer was forced to sell it cheap to the planter. Factories were burned down and the revolt spread. To take control of the situation, the government set up an Indigo Commission in 1860. So, Dinabandhu Mitra wrote a drama Nil Darban in Bengali with a view to draw the attention of the people and the government towards the misery of the indigo cultivators. Next one is Pabna Revolt, 1873 to 76. Pabna peasant uprising was a resistance movement by the peasants against the oppressions of the zamindars. It originated in the Yusufzai Pargana of Pabna, Bengal. It was led by Keshab Chandra Rai. The zamindars routinely collected money from the peasants by the illegal means of forced levy, rent and so on. Large crowds of peasants gathered and marched through villages, frightening the zamindars and appealing to other peasants to join with them. Hardly zamindars or zamindars agent were killed or seriously injured. In the course of the movement, the riots developed a strong awareness of the law and their legal rights and the ability to combine and form associations for peaceful agitations. Deccan Riots, 1875. In 1875, the peasants revolted in the district of Pune. That event has been called the Deccan Riots. The peasants revolted primarily against the oppression of local moneylenders who were grabbing their lands systematically. The uprising started from a village in Pune district when the village people forced out a local moneylender from the village and captured his property. Gradually, the uprising spread over 33 villages. However, it resulted in passing of the Deccan Agriculturist Relief Act, which removed some of the most serious grievances of the peasants. Next one is Punjab Peasant Movement, which was held in 1890 to 1900. The peasants of the Punjab agitated to prevent the rapid alienation of their lands to the urban moneylenders for failure to pay debts. The British India did not want any revolt in that province, which provided a large number of soldiers to the British Army in India. In order to protect the peasants of the Punjab Land Alienation Act was passed in 1900 as an experimental measure to be extended to the rest of India if it worked successfully in the Punjab. The act divided the population of the Punjab into three categories, that is the agricultural classes, the statutory agriculturist class and the rest of the population including the moneylenders. Champaran Satyagraha, which was held in 1917 to 18. The European planters of Champaran Liga resorted to illegal and inhuman methods of indigo cultivation at a cost which was wholly unjust. The peasants were bound by law to grow indigo on 3 by 20 part of their land and send the same to the British planters at prices fixed by them. So Mahatma Gandhi took up their cause. The government appointed an inquiry commission of which Mahatma Gandhi was member. The grievances of the peasants were inquired and ultimately the Champaran Agrarian Act was passed in May 1918. Next one is Kheda Satyagraha, that is Geira, which was held in 1918. In the Kheda district of Gujarat, due to constant famines, agriculture failed in 1918. But the officers insist on collection of full land revenue. So local peasants therefore started a no tax movement in Kheda district in 1918. Gandhi accepted the leadership of this movement. Gandhiji organized the peasants to offer Satyagraha. He inspired the peasants to be fearless and face all consequences. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel emerged as an important leader of the Indian freedom struggle during this period. Mopla Rebellion, which was held in 1921. The Muslim Mopla peasants of Malabar, that is in Kerala, was suppressed and exploited by the Hindu Zamindars and British government. This was the main cause of this revolt. In August 1921, the Mopla tenants rebelled against the oppressive Zamindars. In the initial phase of the rebellion, the Mopla peasants attacked the police stations, public offices, communications and houses of oppressive landlords and moneylenders. By December 1921, the government ruthlessly suppressed the Mopla rebellion. According to an official estimate, as a result of government intervention, 2,330 Mopla rebels were killed, 1,650 wounded, and more than 45,000 captured as prisoners. Bardoli Satyagraha, which was held in 1929 to 30. The peasants started their agitation under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in protest against the governments. The peasants refused to pay tax at the enhanced rate and started no tax campaign. Faced the auction sales and the eventual loss of almost all of their lands, but refused to submit to the government. All their lands were returned to them when the Congress came to power in 1937. Just we see the recap. The British government in India did not adopt a pro-Indian agriculture and land revenue policy. Lord Cornwallis introduced permanent settlement in 1793. Then Rayatwari system was introduced by Thomas Munro and Captain Reed in 1820. Magalwari system was brainchild of the Holt Mackenzie. The land near the hills of Rajmahal in Bihar was cultivated by the Sandals. Dinabandhu Mitra wrote a drama, Nil Durban in Bengali. In 1875, the peasants revolted in the district of Pune. That event has been called the Deccan Riots. The Punjab Land Alienation Act was passed in 1900. In August 1921, the Mopla tenants rebelled against the oppressive Zamindars. The peasants of Bardoli, that is in Gujarat, started their agitation under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Thank you, ma. Children, you go through the lesson and learn book back question and answers. Thank you, ma.